Oh, it's the kid getting words. Podcast don't last, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? You guys might have got a little bit startled then. We just kicked off the episode a little bit differently than usual. We kicked off with one of our friendly turns out it can get worse people. And I'm thinking I'm going to trial that for the next couple of weeks and see how I like that flow. I think I'm toying with the idea of mixing up the format and shit like that. But anyway, let's see what this bloke's all on about before we do rip into the episode. Holy fuck. Just an odd-looking man just singing Cotton Eye Joe. So, holy fuck. I'd always wondered, like, who is Cotton Eye Joe? And I think we've just stumbled across who the real-life person is. Like, that voice is pretty insane. It was like listening to a real-life banjo string just snap in our eardrums. Oh, God. Speaking about banjo strings, I had a friend in high school who actually snapped his banjo string, if you know what I mean, during a vigorous lovemaking session. Oh, God. But we're off to a cracker, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we're all ripping into our Tuesdays, having the best time of our lives. We have Nikita in the boys' home today, as per usual. Like, at this point, I'm thinking we just homeschool these kids. Like, they're home more Mondays than I am. And technically speaking, I don't have a job on Mondays. So is it written in their future that they are potentially going to buy podcasting equipment and set up in their garages and that is going to be their life? I think it's starting to look that way, guys. That might be it. Like, in my will, I might hand down the Roadcaster to them and just let them sprout their wings, see where they take this thing. But yeah, kicked off with a bit of a nostalgic song there. Let's kick into a bit more nostalgia. Let's start where this all started, right? Fortnite last week comes out with some new skins, and anyone born in the 90s, you'll see the skin release and be like, holy fuck, this is unreal. And of course, I'm speaking about the Power Ranger skins release on Fortnite. I've seen this and I'm like, oh my God, I want the Red Ranger, I want the Yellow Ranger, they had them all there. And like some of them, like the White Ranger and the Green Ranger, I think, you have to like unlock them in the Battle Pass. Nerd shit. You guys don't need to get into it. But straight away, I'm looking through the item shop. I'm like, Westy, we should get some Power Rangers shit. And he looks me in the eye and he goes, who are the Power Rangers? What the fuck did you just say, champ? So I've had to give him a quick schooling on who the Power Rangers are and why they are quite possibly the most badass people in the world that are going to save everything. So I go, all right, we need to watch some Power Rangers. So I get both the boys up on the couch. I go on Netflix and I click on Power Rangers. And look, I knew I shot myself straight in the foot as soon as I hit play, okay? I've turned it on. The graphics on this, what's the word? The acting, just everything about it just screamed, oh my God, this is some terrible shit. And it's like, I was watching it and I was like, no wonder I grew up the way that I am, you know what I mean? Like, this is what brought me up. Just watching these people in these tight suits do backflips and kung fu. Oh, God, backflips and kung fu. Could that be the episode title already? But yeah, it was insane. Like, the shit that they're growing up on now, like Bluey, for example. Everyone looks at Bluey and they're like, this is the best cartoon ever made. And look, I somewhat agree with that. It is an incredible cartoon. And then I go back and I look at the shit that I was brought up on, such as Power Rangers. Even the name now, like Power Rangers. It's so fucking lame. But yeah, Bluey's teaching kids about like how to love and like care for your siblings and just teaching you life lessons. And like the shit that brought me up was just teaching me how to wear skin tight clothes and karate chop. Slightly different, but I think it's a prime example why I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this episode's kicked off in a little bit of a shambles. Like I said, I wanted to try something new, kick it off with a turns out it can get worse person, just to kick it off as something a bit different, just ease us into the episode and tell everyone what we're all about. And that's just thrown me for a loop on top of Nikita and the kids being home. Oh, God, it's frazzled up in this brain right now. But regardless, we move forward. We get onto a couple of crazy stories. And the next one I got for you guys, I was at work on, when was this? Thursday, because it was late night shopping. And Parker's iPad screen has been broken for like the last month or so, okay? And I'm not even joking. We've probably had that bad boy replaced 38 times, okay? He just has this knack. And like, before you guys come at me, why don't you guys buy him a case? Why don't you guys buy him a screen protector? Blah, blah, blah. Mate, we've fucking tried it all. We've tried it all, but this kid, he is like, he just has a way of destroying iPads, okay? And it's even shit like, oh, he'll be like, oh, my iPad's not charging through my case. So we pull it off for that like 2 seconds. He sits up on the bed with his iPad and then boop, straight off the edge of the bed. It's like, bro, that case was off for 3 seconds and you managed to crack the screen. Just going to take a little sip. Anyway, Nikita takes the iPad over to the shop just to one of those, like, I don't know if you guys in your area, I don't know if this is just a Queensland thing. I'm assuming it's like a nationwide thing. But there's like the little kiosks in the center of the shopping center, right? Where you take your phones, you take your iPads, they sell phone cases, yada, yada, yada. And they just know how to fix it, okay? It's just a bunch of tech nerds. They sit in this little booth all day just fiddling with wires and shit. I couldn't think of anything worse. But anyway, that is why we need these people in society, to help out people like me. So Nikita drops it off during the day, and I had to go to the shops for whatever reason Thursday night to get something. So I go, oh, I'll just swing past the shop. I'll pick up the iPad and it'll be sweet. I'll bring it home. You'll have it for fucking later that night, yada, yada, yada. So I get there and I am met with quite possibly the most autistic man in tech. And that is saying something. Like, there's people like Elon Musk out there. This guy made Elon Musk look like the most normal person in the world, okay? I get there, straight off the bat, I picked it. As soon as he said, hey, mate, he didn't even say, hey, mate. I forget his greeting. But I was like, oh, we're onto a live one here. Let's go. Like, it was a battle of wizards, you know, just two autistic people just casting spells at each other. Anyone walking past would have been like, who the fuck? What are these guys even talking about? But anyway, he goes, he hits the panic button straight away. He goes, oh no, I've only had time to fix the screen. I haven't had time to lay the screen protector on. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, all good, mate. I'm like, how long do you need? And he's like, oh, if you can give me like 5-10 minutes, I'll have it all ready for you. I'm like, that's cool, mate. I've got some stuff to do over here. So I'll go do that. I'll come back on my way out of the shopping center and that should give you more than enough time. And he's like, oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. You're the man. And so I go do what I got to do. I come back and this guy, I go, oh, how'd you go? You all done? He goes, yeah, I'm all done. He gets the iPad from his back bench, puts out a little rubber mat on the glass display, and he lays the iPad down ever so carefully, okay? It was like he was treating the Holy Grail, and he just lays it down, and I go, oh, yeah, thanks, mate. How much is that? And he goes, no, just before you pay, he goes, check out the screen protector. And I've looked, and much like you guys are probably thinking, how impressive can a screen protector be? It is a clear piece of plastic that goes over the iPad screen to protect it, okay? So I've looked at it and I've gone, yeah, no, that's perfect, mate. My son's going to love that. And he goes, no. You need to look at how perfectly I've laid this screen protector. Like at this point, I feel like I should be – he's making it look like I'm staring at the Mona Lisa or something. Like that's – in this guy's head, this is the most artistic thing he has ever seen in his life. So – I take the time out. I go, all right, let's give this guy his glory. So I start to look a little bit more intrigued, and I'm looking at the glass, and look, it looked fucking normal to me. It looked like every screen protector I've ever seen in my life. And And I go, no, it's very good, mate. I'm very happy with that. Thank you so much. And he goes, yeah, I don't think you'll ever see a better laid screen protector in your life. And I'm like, probably not, mate. Probably not. Probably A, because you've done such a good job, and probably B, because I'm never going to stare this intensely at a piece of glass with another man in my life. Unless I potentially... oh, God. Unless I become like a meth addict or something and I just start staring at the glass Barbie with a bunch of other blokes just around a barrel of fire, you know what I mean? That is probably the only other time that I'm going to be staring at a piece of glass this closely with another man. But fuck me, it took me off guard. But another thing I should have tied this into the last one, but it's not even that nostalgic actually. It's just something I noticed this week. I had to, holy fucking Jesus, let me put that on silent. There we go, guys. Sorry, couple of messages coming through there in the group chat. But yeah, had to mow the lawn for the first time in a couple of months this week, and I fucking hate mowing the lawn, okay? If you mow the lawn, I don't understand blokes in their life that are obsessed with their lawn, okay? I just don't get it. Like, if you hate your family that much that you have to spend that much time out in the yard, just leave them, you know? Like they, you know, the type of guy where their whole personality is mowing the lawn. It just blows my mind. And like, I talk to some of those people and they start talking to me about like lawn grubs and shit. And I'm like, mate, I don't want to throw out the second Bluey reference of the episode, but the only reason I know about lawn grubs is from Bluey, okay? I cannot have a coherent conversation with you right now about the lawn grubs in your perfectly manicured lawn. Like, to me, it feels like we're walking across a golf course right now. Like, mowing to me just feels like vacuuming the lawn, okay? Mowing to me is like bragging about vacuuming your couch. I just don't fucking get it. I cannot relate to you on this level. And yeah, like I said, if you hate your family that much, just fucking leave them. You don't have to go out and cut the grass. Like, grass is a living being, and you're just chopping its head off once a week. Like, at the point, like, some people even like scalp their entire yard. I do not understand that. Like, just turning your entire yard into mud once every couple of months in the hopes that the grass grows back thicker and greener. But all right, we need another palate cleanser. I'm like I said, I'm gonna scatter these here and there throughout the episode now, just to give you guys a bit of a breather from my stupid stories and also let me recoup. So, talking about green stuff, let's see what this guy's on about. This guy's so impressed with himself. Holy fuck. There's more creeps in the room. Oh, God. So for audio listeners only, we have a man dressed in perfect Ronald McDonald costume, okay? And he gets a cheeseburger out, which he has turned into a smoking device for internet purposes. He proceeds to hit what I can only call a CheeseBonger. Oh, God, I'm impressed with that one. He's hit a CheeseBonger, and then he's proceeded to eat the cheeseburger. That is some insane shit. Then he goes in the next room and he meets Colonel Sanders and the Burger King. That is a party that I can get around, okay? Holy fuck. I think we need to see that more in McDonald's restaurants around the country. But get this, guys, I've got 3 boxing stories this week, and I'm just going to tackle them one after another here. I'm just going to take a little sip real quick. So, Westy goes to boxing last week, and look, he goes to a boxing gym in Logan, okay? So you can only imagine some of the characters we get come through there, and nothing but respect on my end, okay? I've lived in Logan for, how long now? Like, I don't know, 25 years or something? So I've seen it all, and I embrace the culture. I embrace the culture, okay? I'm loud and proud. But as you could imagine, some of the characters that get around here, oh my Lord. But anyway, we're at boxing the other day and this kid comes in, cool as fuck kid, all right? But he's like just hit the limit where you can start boxing. So he's like 6 years old. Anyway, he walks in and typical Logan kid, full mullet, blah, blah, blah. And his mum walks up to the coach and she's like, oh, he got suspended again today. And I'm like, oh, I feel a little story coming on here. So the mum and the coach start talking and the coach is talking to the kid. He's like, why'd you get suspended again? Like he's trying to, like the coach is a cool Logan guy as well, if you know what I mean. And he's trying to discipline this kid through the art of boxing, but at the same time, he's like, mate, I'm fucking impressed. That's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, they start talking back and forth and the mum goes, yeah, this is his 35th incident this year. And I've had the word incident in quotation marks and I've gone, oh my God, we've got a live one here. And I just looked over at my son, Westy, who I paint as somewhat of a bad boy on this podcast, but he's like me when I was a kid. Like he does naughty stuff, but he is not one of these street kids, okay? I've looked over at Westy and he's just staring at this 6-year-old like he's just got fresh out of juvie. Like in Westy's head, this kid is in an orange jumpsuit with fucking handcuffs and cuffs on his legs. And Westy's like, oh, this kid is insane. But as I was watching this interaction, okay, I needed this. And I know this is perfect for Westy, okay? Us private school kids, we need these interactions in our lives, okay? It's like studying abroad, but like the abroad is Woodridge, if that makes sense. Sorry, Logan Central. I know we had a name change in the last couple of years. But yeah, I think the private school kids need this. And I use this to my advantage because I played rugby league in Logan, okay? 90% of my team, they're either suspended, expelled, doing drugs at fucking halftime. The works, okay? And I'm like, yeah, I was a bit of a naughty kid at my private school, but I was nothing. I was nowhere near touching any of these kids, okay? And but I would like take lessons I'd learned from footy and then I'd take them to my private school and I'd claim that street cred, okay? Like kids at private school would be like, oh, James is so fucking hard. James is a hardened criminal. Like I was gang affiliated by association. Oh God. I was like the lower level gang member where they like make him do stupid shit. And then when he goes out of town to do that stupid shit, he plays it up. He's like, oh, I'm actually pretty high up in the gang. And in reality, he's just at the clubhouse just sucking everyone's cocks. Oh God. But let's go on to the next boxing story. I was in the office on Friday. No one else was around, okay? And a rep comes in. I'm not going to say from which company. I'm not going to give them free advertising. If you want advertising on this podcast, big laminate companies of the cabinet making industry, you send me an email and we talk about some legit sponsorship. But this bloke comes in and he's been in a lot, okay, over the last 6 months, and he's a real talker. Now, on Friday, I had a lot of shit to do. He comes in, starts with the small talk, and I'm like, hey mate, how you going? He's like, yeah, good mate, good. And he's just pounding me about products and shit. And I'm like, mate, I've got so much to do. And like, don't get me wrong, I am so polite to reps and shit. But on Friday, I did have a lot to do, and I was just not in the mood for small talk. And he's telling me about these products, and I go, mate, I don't think I've got, because he basically came in to top up like the color board chart. So we've got like a color board chart in our office of all the different colors you can get cabinets in. Bit of behind the scenes for you guys. How intriguing is that? Anyway, his job is to drive around and top that up for every cabinet maker in the area. So he comes in, he's looking at my board, and he's just pretending to top it up. And I looked at him. I go, mate, I haven't pulled any samples off that since the last time you were in here about a month ago. And he's looked at me and he's gone, oh, I'm going to pretend you never said that because I don't have much to do today and I need to drag this out. And I've gone, all right, well, happy for you to do that, but I'm hitting play on my headphones. I got to focus on this. He's like, yeah, no worries. Now, the bloke leaves me alone for maybe 20 seconds, okay, before he pipes back in. And he goes, oh, doing much on the weekend? I go, no, don't think so. He goes, oh, okay. I'm thinking about going to the footy. I'm like, okay, how interesting. He goes, yeah, you watch the footy? I'm like, not really. He goes, oh, okay. What team do you support? If somebody says they don't really do something, don't follow it up with another question about that topic. And I go for the Titans. I made the jump from the Broncos to the Titans when the Titans came into the league, and I've regretted it ever since. And he goes, oh, yeah, I used to play with a couple of Titans boys. Starts rattling them all off. Oh, this guy's a fuckhead. This guy's a top bloke. This guy should be on more money. I'm like, yeah, cool, mate. He turns around, keeps tapping the samples, doing fucking nothing. I go back to work, and he goes, oh, you into any other sports? I go, not really, mate. Out of nowhere again. He goes, oh, I used to do boxing. And I was like, did ya? That's amazing. He goes, yeah. That was before the incident, though. And I've gone, this part did intrigue me, okay? I wanted to know what the fucking incident was. So I go, what incident? And he goes, oh, I was hit by a car. I've gone, oh, okay. Here we go. This could be the most interesting thing this bloke has told me all day. I go, oh, what happened? And he goes, basically, I was walking and a car hit me. Okay. I was hoping that story was going to be more interesting, but it is probably the most interesting thing you've told me to date. So I go, oh, that sucks, man. He goes, yeah, so I basically ended my boxing career. I wasn't the same ever since. Stuffed my back, stuffed my knees, stuffed everything. And I've gone, oh, that sucks. And he goes, oh, well, I do still have it a little bit though. And I've gone, do ya? And he proceeds to start shadow boxing in my office for a solid 30 to 40 seconds. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. He's going hard out, throwing punches, bobbing and weaving, doing the works, okay? And I've gone, what the fuck is going on right now? And I'm just staring at this bloke, okay? I thought he was doing this so that he would turn to me and get my thoughts as if I was his boxing coach or something. And I've looked at him and I've gone, pretty cool, mate. Like, much like the dude that was making me stare at the iPad screen. I didn't know what to say to this bloke. And I was like, mate, I thought you were here to sell lemonade, not audition for the next cred. Hang on. I don't know if you guys can hear the kids knocking at the door there, but I need to go and address that because that was so fucking distracting for that whole story. I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. Oh, God, that is a frustrating thing as a parent, isn't it? Just your kid to be doing something so fucking annoying. And I open the door. I just see P standing there with a big smile on his face. And I've gone, P, what are you doing? That knocking's coming through the microphones. And he just looks up at me with a big grin. He goes, I love you, Dad. I just wanted a big cuddle. And I've gone, God, I'm the cunt in this situation, aren't I? I'm the cunt for my son just wanting to come and be, just to come and love on his father. But anyway, I got one more boxing story and then we'll move on. Look, like I said, I've started to dabble in the world of boxing again. I've stopped going to classes. I'll put my hand up. It just was not working with the time slot and everything else going on. So I've taken a step back. But the last week or so, I've really got the itch again. And I'm like, fuck, I want to go and like hit a bag or something. So my gym that I go to, they took their boxing bag away like a year ago or so. I still don't know to this day why. Like, we've got the space for it. The only thing I can think of is like it did break every now and then. Like it either just fell off the chain or someone had fucking hit it hard enough with, I don't even know what they were hitting it with, but it had just split the edge of the bag. So I can only assume they got sick of repairing it. So they're like, all right, Bean Lee doesn't get a fucking boxing bag until you guys learn your lesson. So I take the trip up. I knew Springwood Good Life. Their whole upstairs area is like a boxing / MMA / fucking jiu-jitsu area, okay? It's fucking sick. I've went there a couple of times. Back in the day when I tried to pursue my MMA career, that was where I did a bit of training for a little while before I snapped my thumb and bitched it hard and go, I'm never coming back to this shit again. So I got up to Springwood on Saturday night. This was about 6:30, 7 o'clock, I suppose. And I walk upstairs and scan my little card because you need a card to get into the boxing area. And I've got the whole upstairs to myself. And I've gone, this cannot be more fucking perfect, okay? Because this was my biggest fear. I was going to get there and there was going to be like a pro team training or something. And I'd just have to awkwardly be hitting bags while they're standing over there just like snickering at me going, look at this fucking idiot thinking he knows what he's doing. But obviously nobody thinks that. That's just my own head thinking that. Anyway, I put in a good 45 minutes to an hour session up there, okay? I'm hitting all the different bags. I'm doing some shadow boxing. I'm doing some like weighted shadow boxing with these cool like wrist weight things they got there. It was incredible. I was sweating up a storm. It was very enjoyable to the point of like it's not the biggest drive in the world, but it took me like 20 minutes to get there. And I was like halfway through the drive and I was like, is this going to be worth it? And like after that, I was like, okay, the drive was worth it, but still, if there was a gym closer to me with that exact setup, it'd be so much better. But anyway, I finished the workout right, and all of a sudden, like I said, I had the entire upstairs to myself. All of a sudden, this guy just appears out of nowhere. Like he almost just like fucking, what's the word? He just came into existence out of nowhere. Like, you know when you're playing Pokemon and and you stumble across a Pokemon and like the screen just like goes all dotty and shit and then the Pokemon appears? That is exactly what this guy did. I don't know how the fuck he got there. But he rocks up and he introduces himself. He goes, hey, mate, how you going? I'm like, yeah, good. He goes, yeah, I noticed I was watching your shadow box from down there and I've gone, oh, God. This is the professional guy I was worried was going to come and judge the fuck out of me. And I go, oh, yeah, you're probably looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot. I'm like, I'm just trying to get back into it, just throwing some punches, just trying to loosen up, get the hang of it again. He goes, no, definitely not. He goes, you got like decent form. He goes, I'm actually studying to be an exercise physiologist, I think is what he said. And I go, oh, okay, interesting. He goes, look, this is probably as weird for you as it is for me. He goes, basically, I'm very awkward with people. And I was like, oh, yep, I'm exactly the same. And he goes, so what I'm trying to do for my degree is I'm trying to communicate with people better and more or less, he's like, what I'm trying to offer you, he's like, I do boxing as well. He's like, for free, if you ever come here again and you want someone to come and hold pads for you, text me and I'll be here to hold pads for you. And I was like, fuck, that's actually like really nice, man. I appreciate that. I'm like, do you what's in it for you? He's like, literally nothing other than trying to get better for my degree. That's all I'm trying to do here. And I was like, okay, like fucking, what's your number? He gives me his number and he goes, all right, I'll talk to you soon, man. Now, this guy walks away and the dust has settled. I'm putting all my gear back in my bag and I'm like, that interaction felt slightly weird, okay? I don't know why. It was just two blokes chatting at a gym. And then, I don't know, it dawned on me. And I was like, I don't know if that guy was looking for like a workout partner or a life partner, if you know what I mean. It made me feel very vulnerable and weird. And then I started to think, I'm like, wait a minute. Am I the issue here? Because this is now two gyms, okay? Two gyms where a bloke has felt comfortable enough to walk up to me and just more or less lay everything on the line. What I'm trying to say, guys, am I the grinder of like gyms? I think I must be the gay dating app of Brisbane gyms. The guys are just appealing to me. Oh, God. That is fucking insane. But it, look, obviously this guy meant nothing by it, but I am worried to text him. I don't know what the next step is going to be, okay? Because if I go into this thinking, okay, this guy's kind of cool. Like, he did seem like a fucking cool bloke, okay? If I text him and I go, oh, meet me there Saturday night, we'll hit some pads. And then all of a sudden he goes, hey, mate, I do have this one last thing. I've been learning about it in my exercise psychology thing or whatever it is. He goes, what if we just hit the sauna? And then he fucking. Then he comes onto me in the sauna. At what point do I hit the fucking I almost said ejaculate button instead of eject button. I think we leave that there. We leave that story there, guys. We're not going to get. There's no way of getting out of that story. But anyway, I'm scared. I'm going to get fucked at the gym. Oh Lord. But let's get on to a work story. I went to a job site the other day, and it was a big industrial building, and we don't do much of them, okay? We do them every now and then. But more or less all we do in these industrial warehouses is just a small straight-run kitchenette, okay? The most simple of the simple. So if we had to sit down and on an industrial job site write down a list of tiers of trades that need to be there and who are least respected on that job site, it's probably going to be the cabinet maker. Like, we're there for 1 day to measure, 1 day to install. Other than that, we're not seen on that site, and everyone's like, why the fuck are these cunts even here? We're bottom feeders on an industrial site. You put us on a residential, architectural site, we're top of the food chain. Everyone's like, oh, this kitchen's incredible. Look at this veneer. Look at this 2-pack. You know what I mean? Anyway, I get to this job site, and it's exactly what you can imagine. Giant concrete building, and all out the front is probably 30 concreters. 10 of them have probably still got their high-vis singlets on. The rest of them, shirtless, tanned, tattered, fucking still methed out from the night before. Energy drinks everywhere. Typical concreters, okay? And they've got this all set up ready for the pour. So they're just standing there waiting for the truck to get there. Now, half the driveway had already been poured. So they're just waiting for like the next truck to come. And I go to the demountable building at the front of the job site, knock on the door, get the builder. I'm like, hey, mate, here to measure the kitchenette. Where do we go? Now, we walk out of the demountable building, the donger or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he goes, oh, fuck, that's right. Driveway pour. And one of the concreters yells out to him. He goes, nah, mate, you guys can quickly run across. The truck's just pulling in now. So if you guys sprint across, no dramas. And the builder, with the most confidence in the world, goes, sweet as, boys. And he starts just gracing, like just Jesus walking across water, all this like rebar mesh and the little chairs they put under it. Like, he knew exactly where to step. He knew what path to take, shit like that. Now, I've got my iPad and my tape measure. Now, it's been a while since I've walked across some of this mesh, okay? But I'm like, how fucking hard can it be? So I start following this guy, and I'm starting to look like Bambi on ice. I'm just tiptoeing on this mesh. It's buckling under my feet. My feet are going in between the big squares of the mesh. I'm tripping over. I look like a fucking baby giraffe just learning to take its first steps. And in all this embarrassment of me like tripping over and just being the most uncoordinated fuck in the world, I look over to a bunch of 30 concreters that already don't respect the cabinet maker on site. And I visually see half of them smiling and laughing at me. And I'm like, oh my God, I can never come back to this site again. Like, I hope nothing goes wrong with that job where they go, oh, the guy that check measured it, he needs to come back and sort this shit out. Because I can't show my face there again. I can't even show my face on another one of those builders' job sites. It was fucking embarrassing. I don't know what I was doing. But I'm going to have another sip or slip. One sec, guys. I've still half got this sickness from a few weeks ago. My throat is dry as shit. But Parker had his first sports carnival last week, his first athletics day thing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And the only event they did is like a 50-meter sprint, I suppose it was. Yeah, it would have been 50 meters. And look, I've said before, this kid has everything he needs to be the perfect athlete, okay? He is quick, he's strong, he's flexible, he talks more shit than Conor McGregor. And I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued to see him in a competitive environment. He comes home the day before this and he goes, oh, I won the race today. And I've gone, oh, okay. And he goes, oh, well, technically me and another kid won it together. And I was like, okay. Then I started to get my doubts. I'm like, okay, one of his friends must have won it and gone, oh, P, we won together or something like that. So I've rocked up to this athletics day. not expecting much. And the race starts, and this kid was like far lap. He just pins the ears back, just starts sprinting down that straight. And I feel like just watching him, he was holding back a little bit, and he ended up coming second. And I was like, fuck, I'm so stoked that, like, and usually in like situations like that, he will get awkward and shy and shit. And I legit wasn't expecting him to run off the start line. Like, I thought I was going to have to jog up there and run with him, which it would have been more embarrassing than tiptoeing across that mesh at the concreter's site. So yeah, he pins the ears back, comes second. And I'm like, fuck, good job, P. That was so good. And like, he was quietly chuffed with himself. Anyway, I brought him straight home after that because I didn't want to go back to school half an hour later to pick him up. We're in the car, and then the competitive nature kicks in, and I'm like, oh, an athlete might be born, because he's in the back seat, and I'm like, good job, P. Fucking stoked with coming second. And straight away, the excuses started. The excuses of a young fucking athlete. And he goes, I would have come first if fucking this kid didn't poke me in the eye before we started. And I've gone, oh, really? He goes, yeah, he poked me in the eye right before we started the race. He goes, if he didn't, I would have come first. And I'm like, that is an athlete. Blaming everyone but yourself. That is the mark of a true athlete, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm intrigued. I'll let you guys know next year if I'm going to put, like, you know those goggles that, who used to wear them in the NBA in the old school days? Like Dennis Rodman or someone used to wear goggles when they played so they didn't get eye pokes. That's how I'm going to send him to his next athletics day. But speaking about school fashion, this is my last little story I think I've got for my week that was. This one blew my mind, guys. Let me scroll down. Now, last week, Westy had his anti-bullying day at school, okay? I don't recall having one of these when I went to school. Now, part of the anti-bullying day is you have to wear something purple. Okay. First thing, purple is potentially the most bullying colour, okay? If someone went to school wearing purple when I was a kid, they probably would have got bullied into the fucking ground. Anyway, Westy proceeds to say, Mum and Dad, I want to get a purple skirt to wear. And I've gone, I like a purple tutu. And I've gone, you sure? You sure about that? And he goes, yeah, 100%. Now, it turns out the grade 6 boys on athletics days and stuff, they all wear these like coloured skirts of their sports team. Now, Westy's tied that together and he's gone, oh, I'll just wear a purple skirt on anti-bullying day. Now, we go and buy him one, and he ends up getting a purple skirt and a purple like flower necklace. And that is where it was clear to me, this is how we know society has changed to the point where I don't think we need an anti-bullying day at school anymore. Because back in my day, if I rocked up to school in a purple skirt and a purple flower necklace, I would have been bullied into the fucking ground. The fact that a kid can rock up to school in a purple skirt and a purple flower necklace these days and not get bullied, in actual fact be the coolest kid in their entire grade, we don't need anti-bullying day anymore, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that I wouldn't have made it out my front door if I went, see your mum and dad, I'm going to school in a purple skirt and a purple flower necklace. They would have fucking beat me in the ground before the kids at school got a chance to do it. I remember this one time, right? I've spoken on here. I used to go out to our family's farm in school holidays. I went out there as a bit of a gag one day. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I like to have a bit of a laugh. I went out to my family's farm this one time. I had magnetic clip-on earrings and I wore a dress. And when my auntie picked me up, she ripped the earrings out of my ear. She didn't give a fuck if they were real or magnetic. And she literally ripped the dress off my body and burnt it in front of me, okay? That is a clear example as to why we don't need an anti-bullying day anymore, okay? I then proceeded to have to watch my least favourite sport. Westy does AFL on a Thursday afternoon. I then had to watch Westy play AFL in a purple skirt. I mean, back when I was at school, we used to call it GayFL for a reason. Anyway, guys, what else have we got happening here? I think that's all I had for that one. Oh, speaking about bullying, let's play this bloke. I thought this tied in well here. Let's hit play. We spoke about rangers a couple of weeks ago. What's this bloke got to say?
Do you want to see my butthole? Well, in 3 months and 2 days, I will be dropping my OnlyFans. And it's going to be so gassy.
So gassy.
I'm squirting right now. 3 months and 2 days until you get to rub your big, gassy, inflated belly to furry inflation content on my OnlyFans. Fuck. And I'll be freshly 18. That's...
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't hear that last part when I first saw the clip, okay? Oh, my God. Somebody call the police at this point. That is disgusting. That needs to be reported. I would like to say to all audio listeners, there was no nudity. We didn't see anything. You just see this ginger's face, and that slapping noise is him slapping his gut, okay? Don't report me. Nobody report me. But let's get on to my week in comedy. Let me close that video before we do rip on. So, big week in comedy, even though we didn't do any gigs. Let's start off with the big one. I came on here a couple of weeks ago, and I said that I had been offered a headlining spot at Guilt Free Comedy Club up in the city for one of their upcoming Friday night shows. Obviously stoked. I've never been offered a headlining spot. Never even thought I was like really ready for that if you fucking want to go that far. Anyway, after I finished the podcast last week, they shoot me through a message and they go, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. Are you available on the 3rd of October for the headlining spot? Offer me the time and the rate and blah, blah, blah. And I go, fucking let's do it. So there we go, guys. I'll be headlining Guilt Free Comedy Club on the 3rd of October. So I don't know if tickets are available for that yet, but stay tuned. I'll obviously plug all that. Sorry, had to get a little burpee out then. I'll obviously plug all that on my socials and shit like that as they release the tickets and start tagging me in all the posts and shit like that. But yeah, stoked as fuck with that. Now, the big one. This is the huge one in my eyes and hopefully in your eyes as well. So I said on last week's episode, I was toying with the idea of signing up for the Good Chat Comedy Festival. Obviously, it was the festival that I did my first split bill in last year. And last week on the pod, I was fucking around. I'm like, oh, it'd be actually pretty cool if I was to just on a whim throw out there that I'll do the solo show in this year's show. And I didn't expect to be picked, okay? The entries opened like 5 or 6 weeks ago or something. So I for sure thought they were all going to be full. And I go, let's just do it. Let's do it for a bit of a laugh. Maybe they'll have a dropout. Maybe they'll have a random spot that needs filling. So I filled the form in. I sent it through. And a couple of days later, I get an email back and they go, hey, unfortunately, all the spots are filled. There is this one person chasing, like we've locked them in to do a split bill show. The person they were doing it with has dropped out or something. So they're chasing someone to do half their show with them. And first thoughts was like, okay, let's just do it. Let's trim up the show. Let's make it a tight half an hour show and let's just get it underway. And I sort of stewed on it for the day and I go, no, like I've said, I've got the show exactly where I want it. I do not want to go playing with it and toying with it for the sake of just fitting this one spot that up until last week I didn't even think I was going to be part of. So I, much like the Adam Sullivan thing a couple of weeks ago where I just put everything on the line and I just laid down the truth and I replied and I go, look, genuinely appreciate the offer. But I've got the show where I want it. I'm stoked with it. I don't want to go chopping and changing it for the sake of trying to fit the only spot that's still available. And I just said, appreciate the offer, but at this point I'll have to decline. If a full slot opens up, please let me know. And within an hour of sending that back to them, again, I was expecting a fucking thanks for wasting our time, dickhead. Why even apply if you're not fucking keen to jump on the festival? Within an hour, I get a reply and they go, actually, there is one full slot still available. If you want it, let us know. We will lock you in. And ladies and gentlemen, my first ever solo show has been approved for the Guilt Free Comedy Festival, and it will be on October 7th, which, don't get me wrong, it's a Tuesday. It is not the best day to be doing a comedy show, okay? But I am hoping once it gets announced, like this is breaking news. Like the tickets and all that aren't even on sale yet. So you guys are finding out first. So I'm hoping you guys can get behind me. I've locked in maybe three podcasts to jump on to try and push tickets as well. And I'm probably going to reach out to a whole other bunch of podcasts this week to try and jump on there and just push tickets however I fucking can. So I need you guys to help me get behind this. I want to sell this fucker out. It is going to be anyone that's come and seen me do comedy before. You will not have heard anything in this show before. It is the most raw, the most real, the best jokes I think I've ever written. Like, they're all from genuine points of my life that I've punched the fuck up out of, and everything is in there. The truck story, the home invasion story, touching on the miscarriages, fucking obviously crazy stories from schooling, family, fucking Nikita, the kids. It is all in there, and I'm fucking stoked with how it's going. So literally every night now I'm just in there and I'm just fine-tuning it. I'm learning it all, and genuinely I have not been this excited about anything in such a fucking long time. And I'm just what I'm the most stoked about, okay, is there is a date locked in. It is on paper. I have to have the show ready by that date, and there's no pulling out now. Like, it's locked and loaded, and I have to have this show ready by October 7th. So it pretty much meets, like when I came in here a couple months ago and I announced the show, if you will, I said September, October is when I want to perform it first, and I want to perform it for the first time in Brisbane. And like, obviously it's nowhere to the level of like Conor McGregor's manifestation or anything like that, but to speak that into existence a couple months ago, and now almost without even trying, it has come about. It's like, it's a pretty crazy thing. So I don't know what I should speak into existence now. Maybe James will have a giant cock by next week. Let's see what the universe does with that one. I feel like I'm going to get in a horrific accident at work. The end of my dick is going to get caught in the end of one of the machines, and it's just going to stretch the fuck out, and I'm just going to have a weird droopy dick for the rest of my life. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. We're getting all too deep and meaningful there. I had to bring it back with a dick joke. That's probably the other thing as well. This show is, yes, to date, all my shit has been stupid little dick jokes, but this show, I will say, not all the jokes end in stupid little dick jokes. There is some genuine down-the-barrel storytelling, funny, punched-up shit in there that doesn't come back to my dick or cum or assholes, shit like that, okay? So that's it for now. Once I do get the fucking posters and the ticket link and all that, it'll all be coming. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. Epiphany is finally here, October 7th. I'm so fucking keen. And then off the back of that, I am starting to, again, I've said it, regional dates and shit like that, they will be following after this. Like, I am now confident that the show will be done by October 7th. So I'm so confident in booking some November, December shows in regional towns and then carrying on into 2026. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be bringing the show to a town near you. I know we have a chunk of regional listeners listening to this. So, yeah, fucking stay tuned for that. But anyway, a couple of minor things I wanted to touch on of things that I've seen this week. I watched Jim Jeffries' new special on Netflix, and look, full credit to Jim Jeffries. He's sort of one of the first Aussies to really break the US market, to move over there, go all in on comedy, and now he's a huge comedian over there. He probably did have his peak around like the gun laws bit and shit like that, and he's probably like plateaued from there, if not on his downward fall. And like, I get that's a shitty thing to say, but no one can stay at the top for that long. Like, even Kevin Hart these days, he's doing an Australia tour soon. I think he's only coming to like 2 cities rather than every city that he used to come to, and I still don't think that they've sold out. So there is a peak and there is a downfall, and something that I sort of am big on that I heard a comedian say once is be nice to everyone, because everyone you see on the come up, you're eventually going to see them again on the way back down. So I'm pretty big on that. But like I said, Jim Jeffries made it big over in the States by moving from Australia to the States. How's this, guys? This is the law of Jim, the prophecy of Jim. We had Jim Jeffries move from Australia to the States. We had James McCann move from Australia to the States and blow up. It's only right, guys. Next time we have Jimmy Misson moving from Australia to the States to blow the fuck up. It is written in law. But back onto the Jim Jeffries special. It did not appeal to me. Hey, I don't know what it was. It just did not grab me. And the big, don't get me wrong. People are going to come at me for saying this because I do it more than anyone I know. Using the word fuck and cunt as punctuation, again, I do it more than anyone. But hearing Jim Jeffries in a comedy special use it as every second word, he even said cuntingly at one point, and I was like, fuck, that's a stretch. Like, that felt like you were just trying to pigeonhole that in just for the sake of it. Like, it made me feel like gross just hearing him talk like that. And it sort of made me take a step back and go, okay, I understand. Like, some people have spoken to me before and they're like, you swear too much on stage, things like that. And yes, I do. But at the same time, that's genuinely how I speak. So that's how I feel like I can convey a story across the best way. Okay. But yeah, just watching that special, it almost felt like I was being verbally assaulted in a way. So I didn't even make it the full way through, to be honest. I don't know what you guys thought about that special, but go check it out. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts on that one. But yeah, I put this one here. I don't know what the tie-in was that I was thinking while I was putting this show together, but I've got our last Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip. I just thought I'd put it in here. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I only have one hand.
Yeah, nah. That's not for me. We just had quite a nerdy neckbeard type character bite the lid off his Gatorade, and as he spat the Gatorade lid out, dribbled all down the front of him. He looked like a fucking raccoon just trying to get to his last feed and just spitting all down the front of him. But yes, this is why women don't respect us as men, because of people like that. Oh, last thing I need to touch on, we had UFC 319 yesterday. What a fucking card. As I said in the breakdown last week, I was not keen for this card up until about 2 weeks ago. And then I started to look at the fights one by one, and I'm like, this could actually stack up to be a pretty crazy card. And that it did. I was very impressed. I've got 4 fights I want to talk about briefly. I won't get into them too in depth, but it would be ignorant of me not to touch on them. The first one of Hamzat's training partners, going to butcher the fuck out of his name. I'll just say his last name. Sursakayev, I think is how you pronounce it. He was in Dana White's Contender Series last week, got a contract, and he goes, Dana, my teammate Hamzat is fighting in the main event. I want to be part of that card if somebody drops out. Sure enough, somebody drops out. Dana calls this kid, and he goes, yep, give me the fight on 4 days' notice. He goes in there. He goes to the press conference and everything. Like, this kid had the full experience this week. He wore a $185,000 watch to the press conference, which at that point we were like, how the fuck does this kid afford a watch like that? Anyway, so I was pumped on watching him make his UFC debut. And first round, I was less than impressed. I was like, fuck. I was hoping he would come out, make a statement. And then second round, he starts to ramp things up, and he gets the win by submission, rear naked choke in the second round. And I was like, okay, glimmers of hope from that. And I can only put it down to first round. It was UFC jitters. He fought 4 days ago. Give the guy a break. But I think the UFC is in dire needs of superstars at the moment. I think we may have a glimmer of hope in that kid right there. Carlos Prates gets a spinning back fist KO in round 1. absolutely insane. Like that fight had it all, and then the spinning back fist with a couple of seconds left of the first round, bang, it was insane. Then we can't see another one of those for sure. The very next fight, Lerone Murphy, I tipped him in the UFC breakdown. Another spinning back. This one was a spinning back elbow, round 1 KO. 2 back-to-back spinning KOs in round 1. I don't know if that's ever happened in the UFC before. If it has, I'd be very fucking surprised, but insane. So Lerone Murphy, he is the favourite to face our boy Volk for the title next. And I would like to think Volk has him covered, but he's a pretty scary, young, up-and-coming, undefeated lion. So we'll see. But like I said, I think Volk's got him covered. Then the main event, Khamzat comes in and he proves he is the next guy of the UFC. He fought a very dominant win over DDP. DDP had absolutely zero answers for Khamzat's grappling. Khamzat rode DDP's back for the entire fucking fight. It was insane. Like literally, DDP had nothing. He looked like a child wrestling his fucking dad in there. But again, we all knew it was going to follow if he won the title. All the casuals coming out. That's a fucking, how's that a fight? He shouldn't have won that, blah, blah, blah. All he did was ride his back. And trust me, my first couple of years watching the UFC, all I wanted to see was vicious fucking knockouts, like the 2 spinning back fist KOs. That's all I wanted to see. But as you start watching the UFC and you start understanding how dominating like wrestling and jiu-jitsu and shit is, I actually enjoy that a bit more now. Oh, fuck. Sorry, guys. One sec. But, yeah, I think we're in for a very dominant title reign from Khamzat. I don't see anyone in the division beating him. Sean Strickland's come out and he's gone, looks like I better get my shit together and start getting back for that title conversation, because he reckons he used to beat the fuck out of Khamzat in training, which I get everyone says, but we'll see. I mean, I suppose I can see Sean Strickland maybe getting a win, but yeah, we'll see where that all comes from. But I don't see anyone beating Khamzat anytime soon. Bit of motivation to finish us off, guys. We've got the king, Steve Harvey, here, just with a bit of truth.
You have to take chances in life. If you don't take chances in life, you'll never have the life God has for you. Life is about risk. If you play it safe in life, you ain't gonna have much of a life. If you play it safe, you won't have much of a life.
I love me some Steve Harvey. Go on YouTube and watch some Steve Harvey motivational clips and it'll just fucking pump you up. But things to plug for this week. I got Sunnies at Margate for West Park Productions this Saturday on the 23rd of August. That same night, I am back at Good Chat. They've offered me another spot on their Gong show. So I'm back there, same night, 23rd of August. Distillery Road Market, 21st of September. October 3rd, the headline spot at Guilt Free that we spoke about. I will plug tickets when that comes available. October 7th, Epiphany debuts at Good Chat Comedy Club. So, like I said, I need you all to fucking get around that. Pump it up in any way possible. Share it when I post it. Come to the show. That would be unreal to just fill the place with actual people that listen to the pod and shit like that. Then we have the Orion Hotel, October 10th. Tickets still available for that one. And other than that, guys, if you want to get in touch with the show, send submissions via DM on Instagram at cantgetanyworsepodcast, or send me an email at cantgetanyworsepod@gmail.com. I appreciate everyone reaching out as of late. It has been so sick to have a communication with you guys. A lot of people throwing me up in their stories, which fucking means the world. But again, if you can all share it with one person this week, fucking that would literally change the way this podcast is run. To just get a small fraction of monetization back from 3 years of fucking hustle on this bad boy would be insane. So share the pod with one person. If you haven't jumped over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and given a 5-star rating, if you could this week, it'd be amazing. I appreciate I think we've had like 12 or 13 5-star ratings on Spotify, and we've gone up from like a a 3.9 to a 4.5 now, which is, it's unreal. Looks way better on there now. So thank you to all you guys that did go and give it a 5-star rating. If you haven't done it, if you could jump over there this week, give a 5-star rating, mean the world. I appreciate everyone that listens. Hope you all have a ripper week, guys, and I will see you later.